Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Ben. I love talking about movies, I love talking about TV, and I love talking about the entertainment business. So if you haven't liked, subscribed, all that YouTube stuff, do so now. Let's dive into the video. So this is the first part in a two-part series that I wanted to start, where I wanted to examine and look at some streaming shows that went from streamer to streamer, and they not only survived, but they actually thrived. And that's all because of a resilient audience and how strong an audience base is. Shows go to different networks all the time. It's not uncommon, but it's very different for a streaming show to go to another streaming show, and it's even harder to make that show even bigger. You're asking audiences to purchase an entire new streaming package rather than just flip the channel. So it's a very different occurrence, and I just wanted to examine it. And the two shows that I wanted to look at today actually had releases this month, and they are Cobra Kai and The Real Bros of Simi Valley, and we're gonna go into Cobra Kai in this video. So like I said, it is a pretty rare thing. We don't see it happen too much. I actually Googled this trying to figure out, like, are there actual a lot of shows that do this? And I could not find anything. All it was about was just, shows switching to a different network. But streaming wise, it doesn't really happen too much. I think just because the streaming bubble just now started collapsing and it wasn't usual for streaming shows to hop to another streamer. And now we're seeing like all these streamers are aware of just how much money they're spending, and they know just how much it costs to run a streamer. But there were signs of that even before this whole collapse now. And that was with YouTube Red back in 2020. They were the canary in the coal mine. They kind of showed that this streaming bubble was gonna pop. We really should have seen it coming with this move. Like, YouTube gave their biggest IP, their biggest show, and they already filmed a third season, and they just gave it over to Netflix for a great price, I'm assuming. But like, that should have like told everyone that the streaming bubble is coming. Not everyone can have their own streamer. But it didn't, and we learned a couple years later. And Cobra Kai did well on YouTube Red. Like, it had like 90 million views for the first episode. It was very successful. People were talking about it. It was that one show that, like, when people try to get you to watch it, they'd be like, hey, I know it's YouTube Red, but trust me, it's really good. And it was really great. They have some other shows too, like Wayne was really great. That one tried to go to Amazon, but none of the shows even came close to what Cobra Kai had. When it first came to Netflix, it was still a pretty big hit. Like August 2020, it was doing very well on the platform, and it became even bigger once that third season released in the beginning of the new year, and it matched Bridgerton. Like, that's how big it was. It was a very big show. And the success just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Like, each season does better. They got an Emmy nom. They also had Carrie Underwood do The Moment of Truth. Like, it kept getting bigger. This is one of the few shows that like Netflix really treated well just in terms of merch and branding out. Like, they had 2 video games. Not that many of their shows do that. It's a full Netflix show now. Like, I think people kind of forget that it came from YouTube. That's how big it's gotten because of its original strong audience back on YouTube. It transferred over, and yeah, Netflix has a huge volume of people on their platform, so naturally it can grow. But that wouldn't have happened without the original audience that YouTube had. Those people came over to a different platform. That is an amazing feat. And now they're going to continue to grow with their 6th season coming out on July 18th. Like, it's being released in 3 parts instead of just a weekly release. Like, I've talked about this before. Netflix is very stubborn thinking the binge model works. But whatever, I digress. I'm not going to talk about that. But I also wanted to talk about how this completely revitalized the entire Karate Kid franchise. Like, the first movie blew up pretty well, but then since then it was slowly dying, and it died in '94 with Karate Kid 4. They tried redoing it in 2010 with the Karate Kid remake, which honestly, that movie was pretty cool. I suggest checking it out. It's not great, but it's fun. But this series revitalized the entire franchise. Like, they already filmed a brand new movie for the Karate Kid, and it's gonna have Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan from the Karate Kid 2010 version. This is the best example of Hollywood, where they're like, when the Karate Kid came out in 2010, they're like, yeah, no, it's a remake, it's not connected at all. And now that Cobra Kai is doing so well, they're like, oh yeah, it's actually been in the same universe all along. Like, fucking Hollywood. It was completely dead, and if it wasn't for this insanely strong audience and this insanely good show, it would not have revitalized the franchise. We would not be talking about it right now, and their 6th season would not be coming out. And I just wanted to recognize how important it is to have an audience this strong. We've always seen examples in the past of canceled shows and then a fan campaign brings them back, but usually they just kind of die again. Like, their campaigns are not that strong, the audience is not that strong, and it just, it might get another season to say goodbye. But this one is still going on, and it's doing more for the industry and more for the actual franchise. And because of the very strong audience, the entire franchise has been revitalized, it's become extremely successful, and now we're getting a 6th season on July 18th. So please go watch it, celebrate with this, be a part of that strong audience, and just enjoy Cobra Kai. And if you enjoyed this video, I'm going to be doing another one on another YouTube show called The Real Bros of Simi Valley. This one has a very different path and different success in different ways that I want to break down. So subscribe for me for this. Join me next week. Thanks for coming by.